Play from current slide. What are you seeing? The whole thing now?
Yep, we
Yep.
got it.
God, sorry. Zoom
Michael,
meeting. We have one next Wednesday. We got the Teton photography competition. Okay, I try to go through this quickly, but this was important to me. Maybe it's not important to any of you, but I sent out a long email.
Wait,
about a
Randy,
week
do you want to
ago.
take off your sweatshirt and have a cold drink?
No. I'm afraid to
think
do
you
any
need 3
drinking. I got a
beers.
beer here,
Yep.
but I think I'm going to take a pass on that for another hour. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give you a little history. Some of the peer mentors would remember this. Hang on. Oops, no, this. I got to move to the bottom so I can see it. When we started the peer mentor program, which is 5 years ago, Pam, you weren't back then, you weren't around, but about 4 or 5 people that are still in it were some of the very first people. And the very first thing we did was we simply gave each other feedback on pictures that they had. There were some real problems that the feedback was what I call Facebook feedback. It's simply saying, oh, that's a wonderful picture. Oh, I love that picture. Oh, awesome. I actually hate that word now because people used it so much. After about 1.5 years, I changed to the second part and introduced what we call the pair critiques, where people send me 2 pictures. And then rather than just saying, oh, I like that, the peer mentors were asked, which one do you like more and why? And the purpose there was to try to get people to do more informational feedback. And it really grew. I mean, for Pam and new people, we've been at this for 5 years. And what I'm going to show you is how we've changed things. And the purpose of the change was to help us to become more effective as photographers. And I always felt as an interpersonal communications professor that the thing we had to do was make it a comfortable, informational feedback environment. And that worked really well. And we still use it, except not in Zoom because it takes a while. Oops. Now this isn't going. Ah, there we go. Okay. I'll go back. Okay. So we added what's called a monthly theme after about 2 years. And the monthly theme, whoever was the winner, which we'll do in a few minutes, they get a chance to choose the theme for the following year. I found, and I talked to a number of peer mentors who said this, they really liked it because they had something in their mind, black and white, panorama, whatever the theme was, which we'll see in a minute. That we thought about that all the time. And when we went hiking, when we went on the car, that monthly theme challenge helped. And it eventually caused a problem that we never would have thought. Occasionally we found, David, you might remember our discussion about this, that what people were voting on wasn't necessarily the monthly theme. They were voting on the photo that they liked the best, even if it had nothing to do with the theme. And that came out in a problem situation. I don't know, David, were you on the peer mentor group that meant south of town?
Oh yeah.
Okay. We had a theme. Yeah, it was a really bad place. Hopefully we won't have it once this COVID is over. But we had a really interesting discussion because the theme was negative space. And the winner of that theme was a picture of a boat in probably Jackson Lake from an airplane. And everybody liked the photo. It was a great photo, but it had all kinds of things around it, and it really didn't seem to fit negative space. What I thought was really fortunate was we had Mike Jackson at that meeting. And Mike said, well, that's not how I would define it. And it led to a theme discussion of, 20 minutes, half an hour. It really changed things in my mind, but just to start. The last thing, I'm going to move you guys to the top, was monthly themes occasionally led to submissions that what I've called are rule questionable. And last month, the natural frames raised that question, that we had a number of themes, monthly themes, that really were photo composition themes, that we had foreground interest, vanishing points, symmetry, leading lines, visual balance, natural frames, and negative space. And I had a number of conversations when we had them. I think 4 times we had one of those themes. And it struck me that when we had those themes, I would get emails from some of the peer mentors that said, well, those weren't really examples of that theme. And I gave that a whole lot of thought. And that's when I changed some things that are in the website, because I was thinking, we're ready. We started with very little feedback. We moved to informational feedback. We have these monthly themes. But I thought we were ready to look at something else. I talked to 5, 6, 7 people about rules and what the themes were. And I realized that a number of people, some people read the articles, some people don't. But the themes weren't necessarily helping us. So here's what I'm suggesting that we do. You can see this. Hang on, I gotta get you now, all of you off the top here and move them to the bottom. Here's my suggestion for the new theme arrangement, that we divide it into 2 groups. On the left-hand side are monthly photography composition themes, natural frames, negative space, foreground interest, et cetera, et cetera. All of those have, in some level, I guess what you'd call an art definition. The definition isn't the same for everybody. It's not like definitions for lawyers or something like that, but it has a meaning. While the ones on the right are monthly general photography themes, all of those are ones that it's really, as Candy and I talked about, it's in the eye of the photographer. But the one on the left have more than just the eye of the photographer. And I think that would be valuable for us, because now it encourages us to think about compositional things that we haven't really talked a whole lot about. And maybe that's not a really big deal, but wait a second here. Jeez. I think it would be valuable for us to add that. Hang on, I gotta move you people so I can get to the bottom of this. Okay. So my suggestion is that we go for the same thing, that the winner of the photographs for the theme for the month gets to choose. They could choose either photography composition themes, one of those, or they could pick one of the monthly general photography themes. And those will happen later on. Oh, wait a second. Oh, here. Okay, so the purpose of monthly photography composition themes is that help us to learn about style and some guidance with some kind of rules, but not specific rules. While the other ones are the same as the themes we've had, and we'd only be having 1 theme per month as long as we're doing this with the Zoom. I'm sorry to have taken so much time after taking a whole bunch of time, but I wonder if anybody has any questions or comments. I've talked to a number of you, but a number of you I haven't talked to because I hadn't heard anything back from you. What do you think? I know you're bored with me. That's okay. I don't take personal. Anything? Going? Okay. Quick reminder of our rules. I've changed one of them. I realized this time, I think there were 3 or 4 people that sent me their photos after midnight, and I realized, give it a lot of thought. If you can get it, as long as you get it to me at 9 o'clock in the morning, it's no big deal. Photos can be taken with a camera, the theme articles, remember, whatever the theme is, whether it's a photography composition theme or otherwise, please follow kind of the guidance. And this one, this month was picked by Michael. It is running water is our theme. Let's start with a discussion of what you were looking for. And I don't expect this to take us a whole long time, but just, I think it's good to think about how did this impact you? So what did you look for? And I'm going to go through some questions rather than one question at a time. What were you looking for when you went out to take pictures of running water? What caught your eye? What just happened to show up and grab your attention from reading the articles? What makes running water photos stand out? Here's some things that you might have thought of. Did you decide that running water needed to be natural or outdoor or something else like a stream? Which was better, smooth, sharp water or silky water? Should the focus be on the water or leading to the water? What's the best shutter speed and why? And what did you learn that will improve your future photography? I've got one, please don't do this. After I'd written all this, I realized, ooh, this might be people showing up their own pictures. So I'll give you a little example. Mine, running water, the most important thing for me was I learned something about bracketing. I wanted outdoors. I wanted silky stuff. I learned what kind of shutter speed I should have. It was a really valuable theme for me to do something that I hadn't done before. What did the rest of you learn from running water?
Randy, I have to laugh because the best water shot I wanted to have was from the dripping icicles. And by the time I got my camera out to do that, everything fell off the roof. So I did something else.
Did it get you to think about other things you could take about
Yes.
running water?
Well, I think the speed, the setting a camera speed, shutter speed that I've never used just to capture water. So
Okay.
that helped.
All right.
Frustrated, but helped.
You guys know I'm patient. I'll just sit here and wait. Penny, you look like you got something to say.
Oh, I just had so much trouble doing the silky water in the sunshine. Couldn't figure it out. Could not figure. I got a lot of white pictures.
That's one of the things I learned. Unless you've got really heavy duty filters to go on there, you can't do it in the sunshine.
Yeah. And I learned I need a tripod. Really, really need one.
Oh, absolutely. What about the rest of you?
Biggest problem I had was getting to the water I wanted to shoot.
Snowshoes.
The shot I had in mind was shooting from the Snake River Bridge at Moose, shooting to the south, hoping to get the moonlight on the water.
Oh.
Or conversely, shooting to the north and getting the northern lights and the water. Sadly, the snow berms were too high, and I couldn't get what I wanted.
You don't want much.
How was that?
I said you don't want much.
Well, it's just there are mobility, and 20 years ago it wouldn't have been a problem at all.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay, on to our running water photos. There's 14 of them. If any of you haven't been around for the last 2 or 3 months, what we've done is raised it from just 3 votes to when we have 11 to 14 images to vote on, you get 4 votes on the first round. If it's 15 or more, which happens once in a while, you get 5 votes. And what we're going to try to do when I talked to, like I said, 4, 5, 6 people. All of them said it would be really valuable for us when we have our theme challenge. After we voted the first round, then we save, in this case, 4 votes for a second vote. We're going to give feedback to the 4 of them, that'd be 11 images before we actually vote a second time. Because what has been happening is the only photos that get feedback have been the ones that make it to the final round. And everybody, all the peer mentors that I've ever talked to, really would like to get more and more feedback for their pictures. So let's make sure we do that. Now, David is going to take the votes by the, what do we call that? The chat. And
Oh,
what you should do is go to the chat and send your votes.
And send it to me privately so everybody
Yes.
doesn't see your vote.
Yes.
And also, so Randy, how many total images?
4.
Wait,
You
no,
get
no,
to
no,
vote,
no.
pick out the 4 you like the most.
But how many total images are there?
There's
14.
14.
Okay, thank you.
14. Okay. Sorry, I've been so clumsy. Can you see all of this, or should I need to make this bigger? What do you see, guys?
We
I
see
see
the
all
lighter
your
I see
picture.
10 images.
Okay.
There, now we see 14.
Okay. All right. Here's what we're going to do. There are 14 images there. I'm going to show them to you one at a time, like this one. And I'm going to tell you what number it is. And we'll go through all of them. And then I'll let you see the smaller ones, like this. And then I'll do each of these large one more time. So keep track of which you get to vote for 4 of them and send those 4 votes to David, just so we know, so we don't make the same mistake twice. Everybody gets 1 vote. And in one situation, that would be Lewis and Candy, there's 2 people on the same computer, so they actually get 2 votes. Lewis and Candy, if you can some way show that you have 2 separate votes, that would probably work out well. Questions?
Yeah, but Randy, just to be clear, you just said everybody gets 1 vote, but they get to vote for 4
Actually, I'm
photos.
sorry, yes, 4
Yeah.
votes. They get to vote 1 time, but you get 4 votes. Yes, correct. Okay, here we go. This is number 1.
Randy, could you put these in full screen?
This is as full screen as I can get it.
If you hit the letter F, you'll get them
F.
bigger.
Yep.
Is that any fuller?
no.
No.
No,
Did
that's,
you hit the letter F?
I did.
Oh, then it's coming up on a separate screen.
Okay.
We've
Move
tried
on.
this before,
you-
and for some reason it doesn't work very well. This is 1. This is 2.
Yeah, the bars, everything's in front of it.
Randy, can you hit the up arrow above the word library?
There isn't an up arrow.
So-
above it.
Hold
A
on.
small little triangle.
That little, in the very middle, there's a little up arrow.
There.
It's a very small triangle right in the middle.
Above the
the-
word Adobe.
There.
Yeah, I
Yes,
don't
yeah.
see the same thing. that
Above
you
and to
guys
the
can
left of
see.
text.
When I try to go up there,
So go up there from the word test,
Text.
or sorry, text. Yeah, no,
text,
carefully go up to that little triangle.
there isn't one.
Yes, there is.
Okay, okay.
Go up slowly.
There isn't one on my screen. How's that, Michael?
Oh, keep going. It's up there.
Oh, oh.
Oh, to your left.
What
Above the
happens
word
is,
Adobe.
All right, never mind.
Yeah, okay, moving on. We just, let's just see the photos.
He's in library.
Okay,
see, when I go up there, what happens is the share screens thing shows up. This is number 2.
He's got that bar across it too. Miss half the photo. Not half.
okay. And just everybody, you may want to hit mute if you're gonna talk among ourselves. Candy and Brad.
This is number 3. This is number 4. This is number 5. This is number 6. This is number 7. This is number 8. This is number 9. This is number 10. This is number 11. This is number 12. This is number 13. This is number 14. Okay, there's all 14 of them. So take a look. You've got 4 votes to send to David. Do you want me to show you them one at a time again?
Yep, please.
Yep. Okay.
Randy, it's really frustrating that we can't see the whole image on these, especially the verticals.
Possibly hit your fit button up by the navigator.
Fit button by the navigator. Oh, here.
Yep.
Is that is that different?
No.
Well, it was.
You would rather have it like that? Is that
Yeah.
bigger for you?
That
No.
shows the whole image.
That's the whole image.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing. Yeah.
This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. This is 5. This is 6. This is 7. This is 8. This is 9. This is 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. Okay, so send 4 votes to David. I'm gonna try something else. This was fit. This is, okay, it's gotta be, because this maybe solves the problem to always hit it to fit. Is that better for all of you?
Yes, it showed the whole picture.
Yeah, we want to see the whole thing.
I'm sorry, I just can't see what you're seeing. This has been a common problem. Sorry.
Randy, could you remind us one more time about the rules regarding the theme?
See, this one doesn't particularly have any rules.
Okay.
Does that make sense that the rules don't have rules?
Oh, no, there's a theme, right?
There's a theme, and the theme is running water. But unlike the composition photography photos, where there is some rules in a sense, this was actually a new theme last week, or last month, I'm sorry. No, I can't do that.
The articles give a lot of leeway as to whether the water has to be the main thing in the picture. Or
Exactly. Exactly. Some of them say the water should be exactly the same. Some of them means the water should be the leading edge. Some talk about the smooth, high speed pictures, while some of them want the smoothie, a second, 2 seconds, half a second kind of thing. But there's no rule. And in a sense, I think some of these show this, the rules, the water could be ice. Okay, David, what are you getting?
Give me just a few more minutes here. I think we got
Okay.
everybody in. And you want the top 3?
No, top 4.
Top 4, all right.
And then you'll get 1 vote. But then what we're going to do is take a few minutes to talk about the ones that didn't make the final round.
Okay, and you want the top 4, right?
The top 4, yep.
Okay. Number 6. Number 10. Number 12.
Okay.
And number 14.
Okay, so we're going to do this a little backwards. let's get a little bit of feedback on the ones not 6, not 10, not 12, not 14. I'm going to put a star next to these. It's 6, 10, 12, and 14. So let's go. Number 1, what kind of feedback do you have for number 1?
Can you change it to fit again?
Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you.
My eye first goes to the top left corner instead of the water, which threw me off on this one.
Okay. Any particular reason why the top left corner?
It's brightest, as you know, typical with the bright spot in the photo is generally where our eyes go in the first place.
Okay. Any other feedback for this person?
The
Yeah, I would-
horizon's slightly off.
It's, yeah, the level is a little bit off.
That's something I noticed right away. Yeah.
I actually
That's
thought
good.
of it more as a landscape picture as opposed to a moving water picture.
Oh, okay. I'm going to always try to keep this to about a minute. Anything else? Okay. This one. What feedback do you have for this? Positive or negative? Either way.
I don't know where my eye goes.
Mm.
The lighting is a bit flat for me. So yeah, that kind of, you don't have a kind of a focus on where to really look at. I love the icicles though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I felt about this one. It's, I look around and I keep moving around. My eyes keep moving around.
I think
Actually,
that they could have done nicely cropped as a vertical.
Yeah.
Cutting off the edges, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one thing for me, the bottom blends into your background and I lost it. It took me a couple minutes before the running water for me is at the bottom because it
The river that's going by.
Also, it looks slightly out of focus to me, but is that
it
just
looks
the way
so
I'm-
yeah.
Okay. 3.
I like this one, but I had a hard time knowing where to focus. I at first focused on the duck, but then I felt like maybe the snow and the rocks in the background maybe could have been cropped down a little bit more to give more focus to the water and the duck.
Okay. To
I
keep
feel
your
like-
eye on the
like-
water and the duck rather than the snow and the water.
I feel like the water is a little bit better focused than the duck.
The head of the duck, yeah, seems a little bit out of focus.
Yeah, I think this would have worked really well. It's really hard to do, would be to have that duck in focus panning and then have the water kind of blurred. I think that would have helped with the theme a little bit, but that's a tough shot.
I actually think that duck is in focus, but it's motion blur.
Ah, yeah. Because he's moving more than the water is.
Yeah.
Okay. This is 5, 4. This is 4.
I just think this is a really cool image.
Mm.
I really like it. And not just because it's square.
This was in my Navy files as well. I would love to see it actually more in a black and white aspect of it. I think it would be a little more dramatic for it. Just an option I would like to see.
Well, it
Yeah, a little
almost is, right?
I don't think it's black and white with the way the light's looking.
No, I mean, no, I mean,
Oh.
it's a color picture, but it's basically a black and white picture in color.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's why I'm curious to see what it would look like with a nice black and white applied to it.
I wonder what it would look like if the photographer had stood up a little bit taller, so the line that comes from the right side to the left side had been kind of at the bottom, and we seeing a little more of the river. But the smooth foreground is pretty interesting. This is 5.
Again, I think this is one that would look sharp in black and white.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I wish is that that big rock was not kind of in the middle. I wish it was
Right.
a little bit off to one side or the other.
I think this in black and white with a pano, more of a pano perspective and cropping out some of the top would be, could be a pretty spectacular photo.
I like the area upper right, that little waterfall with the water sluicing around to the from right to left. Crop that into your black and white.
Yeah, there's
That-
actually 2 photographs here.
Oh, okay. But I'm just saying, I like that composition with that waterfall at the top,
Mm-hmm.
and then coming over from left to right, and then back right to left.
Okay.
That running water off down to the right, that's going off to the right out of the
Yeah.
frame is great.
I actually really like this one. I like all the movement of the water.
Yeah, I
If-
like it too.
The one critique I might have is to maybe crop out those branches in the upper right corner. But otherwise, I think it's a really good picture.
Okay, on to, this is 5, so we jumped to 7.
So Randy, are we going to talk about the other 4 as well, or just?
Oh yeah, we go to a vote on those 4, and then we'll talk about them.
Got it.
Because I didn't want the talk to impact necessarily how we voted on it.
I really love this picture. It looks like a stained glass window. I think it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I like this one as well. This is definitely, I like the colors in it. I like that you're drawn into it. I like the shadows. I really like this one.
And I'm not a big fan of increasing saturation, but I think on this one, I would like to see this really saturated.
I concur.
Because there's a real variety of colors.
Yeah, it's just really cool.
I like it just the way it is. I think it's great.
Okay, this is 8. I like that this ends up with this sparkling water in the foreground. But I feel like it's important to see the sky, but I would feel better if the sky was really saturated, was blue and white, or that it was maybe cut out of the picture completely.
That's what I see. I mean, you've got such nice leading lines going up to the tree, and if the tree is the subject, that really bright water in the foreground is quite distracting, and it keeps pulling my eye back down there. And I see the picture as everything from there on, not the bright part in front.
So, Lauren, you don't know whether you should, the picture's making you come to you or go away from you. Okay, that's 8. This is 9.
I really really like this image. I would have loved to have seen it crop down to a vertical and show more of the water. Because I find that the rocks on either side are distracting.
I feel like it's more a beautiful jumble of rocks photograph than it is a running water photograph. The running water is kind of incidental, but it's a beautiful photograph of rocks. They're wonderful.
Yeah, if you see us, if at first you saw this as a tiny image, you might not even notice that there was water coming out of it.
Yeah.
Okay. This is 11.
I really like this photo. I think it's very unique and different. And I think the water is nice and sharp. And then I like that the background is kind of blurred out. You can see that it's looking out a window, but you can't tell what the scene is.
Someone got very creative, I feel.
This is one thing I like about the themes that don't have any rules, that we get pictures like this that are very unique. I like this picture.
Well, what's really interesting about this is you really get the sense that even though it's just water coming out of the faucet, the different parts of the water are going very different speeds.
Yeah.
Some of it's captured and some of it's not. It's really fascinating.
Get you to look at your faucet in your kitchen.
This was one of my first lessons in photography. Was learning how to shutter speed, was to turn on the tap and take a picture of the tap and play with the shutter speed. So it reminded me of learning how I started in photography. So for me, it was a story.
And I think it's a great picture too. I would like to lose that little bit at the bottom with the whatever that button is on the countertop.
Yeah, I agree.
Or it's the garbage disposal button.
Yeah, I would guess that.
You don't really need it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
great picture.
Okay. This is number 13.
I think this is so clever. I love this. And I can't tell if those watering cans are really big or really little.
Yeah. And is it raining or is that a sprinkler that's on?
Right.
Looks like it's raining.
a fountain. It's a fountain.
They're little tiny watering cans. It's a rain chain on my house. And it was raining cats and dogs.
I love all the rain coming down.
Oh, so that's not a fountain, Charlotte?
No, it's
Oh.
what they call a rain chain in
Yeah.
place of a downspout.
Cool.
Yeah.
It would have been, if you could have got some light on the front of that, it would have been fantastic. I like the photo anyhow, but
Yeah, I like it too.
yeah. But a little
Nice
pop
bokeh.
off the front. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice bokeh, Charlotte.
Okay, now we're going to go to, oh, I gotta open this up and move these. No, I gotta move these up here. We're going to filter to 1, rated 1, and now we can make these much bigger. Okay, now for those of you who are new to this, what happens is we no longer have these as the original numbers they were. So what we'll do is we'll go back to 1, 2, 3, and 4. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we want to fit this. Does that make it big, or is it still screwed up?
And you get the bar across it.
Yeah. you're probably better off leaving it in this mode you're in right now.
Okay.
Or at least we can see the whole picture.
Okay, this is one. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, this is now one.
And Randy, reminder that does everybody get one vote at this point?
Just one vote.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. This is two. Three. And this is four. There are the four. I'll go. You want me to go through them again?
No,
Yes?
no.
No? Everybody got their vote?
Yep.
Okay, send your vote. One single vote to David. How's it going there, David?
I'm just recounting.
Should we talk about them while David's counting?
Sure. Lead them on, Michael.
Oh, I don't know. I just thought it would be a good thing to do while David was counting.
Well, I'm ready now if everybody's finished voting. So.
Well, let's talk about it before we vote on, before David reveals his votes. Tell us which ones you really like and why.
I like all four of them. It was really,
Yeah.
really very, very difficult to vote. I think you have the two classic ones, which are 1 and 2, and then you have two kind of more creative, kind of think outside the box ones, and they're all equally well done.
Yeah, I like them all also. If the ultimate goal of the photograph is to evoke emotion, Four wins hands down.
Yeah. Mood. For me, this is kind of an interesting Final Four. For those of you basketball fans, the Final Four here is interesting because we have two that are somewhat traditional, 1 and 2, and two that are unique. I guess that's the right word to use there, that you wouldn't think of if you just were like, okay, give us some running water. You wouldn't come up with those with 3 and 4. You'd think about 1 and 2. I know that was the case for me. I thought about something like 1 and 2.
Well,
What I find
I want,
what I find really interesting is that all 4 of these images are monochrome images.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, they're not all black and white, but they're all monochrome.
yeah. I thought number 4 was the kind of the most creative of the 4. And it had, I really found that interesting. And you know, like I agree with Candy, 1 and 2 are the more traditional shots. But yeah, I thought, yeah, 1 and 4 was a really interesting idea.
Don't you think number 3 is pretty creative?
Yeah, number 3 is my probably my favorite because it draws you into what it is. We know it's water. We know there's everything about it. I like the composition. I like the color. I like everything about that image in such an abstract way. It evokes some good feelings for me. I like it.
I think both 2 and 3 have a feeling of mystery to them. The negative space on the left of number 2, and just the image of number 3. Where's it going? You know, what am I looking at? That I like that mysterious aspect of it.
When I was talking about the frames, the 2 types of frames, the compositional frame, theme, and the just more general one, it's interesting how the final photos in almost everything on the kind of the usual themes has some unique ones that are thinking outside the box. 3 and 4 this time are thinking outside the box. I find that to come up with those kind of unique views of things, I think is I would call it quite impressive. I typically don't think that way. It's more of a challenge. And 3 and 4 are unique, but really differently unique. Anything else? Okay, David, which one is number 4?
Number 4.
Okay.
You mean the 4th?
Fourth place.
The 4th, okay, 4th place, okay.
Okay, number 3, 3rd place.
Is number 1.
Which one was 4th place? I didn't hear it.
4.
Number
The 4th. Okay.
Number 1 is in the 3rd most votes.
Yep.
You got that?
Yep.
You want the next one?
Yep. The 2nd place.
2nd place is number 2.
Well, it's Bonnie, isn't it?
And 1st place is number 3.
Great picture.
Yep. Whose was that?
4 really good pictures, real difference. Okay, 4th place.
I would like to see them all again on full screen as you just go through them.
Okay, here's 4th place. This is Michael's 4th place. Want to tell us about this, Michael?
Sure. So I really thought about this assignment for the entire month. And
since you gave us this assignment, you thought about the assignment.
I didn't want to just do a waterfall or a silky water thing. And I sort of struggled with what to do. And then it occurred to me that if I thought about running water or moving water, instead of looking at it as a sort of giant thing, what would it be like as a tiny thing? And then I thought of a teardrop. And so I actually had my wife as the model, and I used Purell hand sanitizer as the tier.
You didn't make her cry, huh?
No, and I actually shot this with an iPhone.
Wow.
Wow, it's a beautiful shot, Michael.
That's gorgeous.
It is a beautiful picture.
You know, I have to say, this is the one I thought should be hanging in a more avant-garde photo exhibition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you use the flash, Michael?
No, I had a light just behind the center line of her head. And then if you look on the second, on the bottom tier, there's a little tiny point of light. That's actually, I added the filter called lens flare from Photoshop.
You mean this? Can you guys see this? This or this?
No, down at the bottom part of this of the teardrop.
Oh, right here.
Right there, yeah.
So I don't know if everybody, well, there was a Jefferson Starship line that talks about tears. So it reminded me of that.
I think the pure black background really, really makes that image. I mean, that's why I thought maybe you had a flash or a strobe or something off to the side like that to get that pure black. Amazing that an iPhone can give you, both that detail, which doesn't surprise me, I guess, but to give you the pure black background.
I have to tell you, I shot this with an iPhone 12 in RAW, Apple RAW, which gives you a DNG file, and it is just incredible, the quality of these images that comes out of this phone.
You can get a DNG file?
Yep.
Yep.
Wow.
What's the resolution, Michael, about pixel size?
Yeah, let me, I can.
I think it's 12 megapixels for the phone.
I can open this up in my Lightroom. 1 second. It is. Almost there.
Is it an app that you use, Michael?
Nope.
RAW? How do you shoot in RAW with your iPhone?
As long as you have the most current iOS, when you open up the camera app, there's a little thing that says RAW, and you just hit RAW and it starts shooting in RAW. And this is 3,000 pixels, 3,100 pixels by 2,300 pixels.
Wow.
Michael?
Yeah.
I wonder if you could have spared your wife the alcohol near her eye and used glycerin. I wonder if you would have gotten as nice a teardrop. I've never used glycerin in that way, but I'm just worried about your wife's eye and all that alcohol.
I don't have any glycerin, and it was only on her cheek there for about 15 seconds.
Okay.
I talked to her the other day and she doesn't mind the eye patch now.
Okay, this is Becky. Becky Hawkins is third place. Want to tell us about it, Becky?
Yeah, I skied into the south entrance of Yellowstone from Flag Ranch and skied into Moose Falls, which is all totaled about 4.5 miles skiing. And it was one of those life and limb threatening moments.
Oh, yeah. That's bad enough in the summer going down to the bottom of that.
Well, this I shot from the top, from the other side of the falls, rather than the typical. And so I was right, I wasn't real close to the edge because I didn't know if I was on a cornice or what I was standing on with my I kept my skis on for a while just to have more pressure on the larger surface area. Yeah, it was hard to find a clear shot to the falls without twigs and branches and stuff like that. So I shot this, and then I skied down the road to the other side of the bridge and carefully walked down the luge run to get to the bottom of the falls. And you couldn't go all the way to the bottom of the falls safely. And it was really, really slippery. It literally was a luge run. It looked like some kids had been sliding down, but I don't know how they could have stopped before they smashed into rocks in the river. So that's what I got.
Do you remember what the speed was that you took this at? Second?
It was
Touch I, Randy.
Yeah. Hit,
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember.
You gotta be in develop to do it.
I wonder if it was otters that were sliding down that chute rather than people.
It could have been.
I've seen otters at Moose Falls. That's why I'm wondering.
Does that say a sixth of a second?
1/6.
Sixth of a second at F18 ISO 100.
It was tricky because it was pretty blown out in places, but when I found the particular photo that I took several photos, and when I found one that the exposure was a little bit better to begin with, it was a lot easier to try to get rid of a lot of the blown out stuff at the top.
Was this in black and white, or was this in overcast? Because it's so dark. I learned a lot about taking pictures of moving water that in the sunshine, you just can't do it unless you've got big lenses that will cover that up. What did you take this with?
It was shot. It was shot in bright sun. The light that's on the tree in the foreground here, that's actually some of the sunlight. And the top of the falls, if you hit fit again, you'll be able to see that. The top part of the image is missing.
Okay. Second
I'd like to
place.
hear, Randy, I'd like to hear some comments about that. Normally, when I look at a picture of a waterfall, I don't want anything in the foreground to interfere with it. But to me, the tree makes this picture. I wondered what other people say. It makes it so unique to have that there. And normally, I would do everything I could to avoid having a tree in front of the waterfall. But I just love it in this picture.
Well, it's also the juxtaposition of something moving and something perfectly still at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And that very dark black on the one side, and the tree lightens up on the left side.
Yeah. Good picture, Becky.
Thank you.
Okay. Second place, and this is becoming common. Sue gets in second place. Tell us about this one.
That is the outfall at Astoria Hot Springs.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, where did you take it from?
I took it from actually the highway side of the bridge. And I might have walked because I was taking it from different points. This might have been one where I was partway on the bridge.
Is that a telephoto shot?
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
And I think this is very well executed. But can you tell me what lens you shot it with, Sue?
So I have the Tamron 18-400.
So this is just for everybody else. This is the lens that Sue wouldn't focus on last year.
Yep.
She had to have it taken back to the shop.
Wait, it's 18 to 400?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very versatile lens.
How big is it?
It's not big at all. I'm going to say the lens itself is probably only about 7 to 8 inches.
Got great detail.
And I did. So I think that I was using neutral density filters on that. And
Oh,
I
I'm looking at a
think
picture
that,
of it. Wow, I've never heard of this lens. That's crazy.
Is it 18 to 400, Sue? I thought
Yep.
it was like 300.
And
Nope.
it changes, the aperture changes as you get bigger, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an 18 to 400, 3563.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
It
then,
just as an educational point, this is a lens that Sue had some problems with it, and we tested it on several cameras, and then she took it back to the shop and they plugged it in. It has to be, I guess, Tamron has a way of plugging the lens in, and
well, it got
and-
sent back to Tamron with the
Yeah.
camera.
It's also only $600.
And so this one also is 6 stops neutral density filter on it.
And did you shoot that all the way at 400?
I know. I'm not sure. Randy, hit develop and let's
That's what I'm
see.
gonna do. To take these out of the way.
You want
all
a
the
full
time.
frame or a crop sensor, Sue?
Crop sensor. That's Canon 90D.
This is 1/8 of a second, f/22,
300.
300.
300
Yeah.
millimeters.
Yeah, like I said, though, she was thinking about sending this whole thing back at one point.
Or heaving it in the river below where that falls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where exactly is this falls?
You can
It's
sell,
actually,
you can sell that
yeah.
picture for the cost of the lens.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said, you can sell that picture for the cost of the lens.
Oh, thank you. So actually, if you're going south out of Jackson and there's that red bridge that goes into the Snake River Sporting Club, just to the north of that is Astoria Hot Springs, and that is the outfall from the hot springs running into the Snake.
Very well seen.
Yep.
I like that all the action is on the right side. And then the feeling completely changes on the left side of the picture. It's like, okay, it's slowing down now.
Yeah, but she gave plenty of room for that water to fall into, and that's the,
Yeah.
beauty of the image.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's one you can hang on your wall and not get tired of.
Very good.
Ooh, get that printed on metallic or metal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and metal, that'd be cool.
Bamboo paper.
Okay. And the winner is Lewis.
Shocked.
Tell us what this is.
So Randy, you actually were the inspiration for this when you talked about taking a picture of your faucet running into your bathtub or something like that. Because I too was thinking about, going down to Fox Creek or going and finding a waterfall, and the month went by. So I did this on Monday, I think. I had the idea. So this is actually, we have a little fountain feature on our hot tub. So this is the little fountain feature spraying the blurred water. I've got the jets going in the hot tub. And so did it at night, obviously, but I had to black out everything that's black in the background. You could see parts of the hot tub. So I just lowered the exposure in those areas. So I just did it at night and have a blue. I have a multicolored light, but I had it on blue, and that's the one I liked the best. I was just holding and shining over everything, and it was entertaining. It was taken with a wide angle lens close to the tub in the snow. So that's a good way to get a lot of schmoo all over your camera.
This is such a brilliant composition, Lewis. It's just fabulous.
Yeah, it was really hard to do. I tried it from all angles because that little fountain thing doesn't go up that high over the edge of the tub.
Yeah.
So I tried it from getting down low and looking up to trying to go sort of underneath it so it would arc over. And then this one obviously taken from a little higher up, but this one kind of worked the best.
Did you
So we
shoot
all
it
go
like
over there
close?
now and practice this together.
You can practice over, bring a beer, we'll sit in the hot tub, we can do it all.
Did you
Is that
shoot,
on a tripod?
shoot this really close, or is it like a couple of feet away?
Well, I'm at the edge of the hot tub. It's on a tripod, yeah. So
Okay.
this thing is in the corner of the tub. So I'm 2 to 3 feet away, maybe.
What lens?
Oh, the lens is a 24 to 70. I think I was at 24.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
This looks like you're taking a picture at a planet from outer space, and this is the
Oh, the meteor tracks?
yes.
Or the rings of Saturn.
The rings of Saturn.
Yeah.
Hey, Randy, hit the hit the develop button. And let's see. Oh, does it have the shutter speed?
Oops.
Hit I again.
I
Doesn't
didn't
have that.
Hit I again.
hit I again, Randy.
One more time.
One more
One
time.
more time.
It's not there.
It's not there, huh?
Not there. There's this, that.
Lewis is
Oh, that's
holding
funny.
out on us.
That was certainly not intentional. I don't even know how that could happen.
Exploded without meditating.
It's probably a 10th or something like that, maybe a little faster than that.
I think it's a little faster than that.
It's a little faster because of the stuff you could see on the left
Yeah.
side. But I don't remember. I played around with all kinds of shutter speeds, and
I bet it's about a 30th.
I'll let you know.
Well, great job.
Yeah, really great.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for the votes.
It's interesting for those of you that haven't been going to the last 2 or 3 months. I forget what it was, 2 months ago, that Lewis put one that's a cousin of this one. That was his oven or his stove that was blue on it.
That was blue. Yeah, it's the last one I won on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't ever have to leave the house. This is getting pretty cool. Since I don't anyway.
After I was standing down in Fox Creek for an hour with the freezing water up to my knees.
I was there too, Randy. I didn't go there because I didn't want to compete with you.
Oh, that's it. All righty. So, Lewis, this is, wait a second here. I got to change screens. Wait a minute here. New share. Here. I gotta move you people down to the bottom. Oh, I can get rid of you actually. Okay, Lewis.
Red
First
has
one to
been
have this
done.
opportunity.
You know, I think I'm going to go to my old pal, Creative Blur.
All right. Creative Blur.
I don't have to send you articles, right, Randy? Because it's just a blurry picture. That's all anybody needs to know.
No,
Creatively.
I'm your next door neighbor. I'm threatening you. No, you have got to get me something. No, I will put, I don't have it with me right here. I suppose I could get there. Wait a second.
There's actually a new organization all on Creative Blur.
Yeah, it's called ICM, Intentional Camera Movement.
Oh.
You will all be so inspired that you will
I'll send
join
you-
the organization.
I'll send you the link as part of the article. It looks pretty interesting. I haven't signed up for it yet.
And
Sounds like a-
Gigi had some, about a year and a half or 2 years ago, she had some nice ones that were like that were those, I don't know what, there's a name for it, I suppose, but I can't remember.
Well, I just know that from now on, anything I screw up, I'm going to say it's a ICM.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
ICM it's called?
ICM, Intentional Camera Movement.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just remember, 1 is out of focus, 3 is a series.
And a style.
You heard it here first, yeah.
Okay,
Probably
so
not perfect.
one of the things I've suggested is that we talk a little bit about the new theme at the end of the meeting. Not that we're going to take half an hour, but we need to talk maybe 3 or 4 or 5 minutes on it. What have you got that information? Could you tell us a little bit more about the ICM, Candy and Lewis, and Gigi? I know you've taken some pictures in it. What do you think about that theme, and how do you go about getting those photos? Give us some secret weapons.
Well, to me, anything, that's moving, and whether the camera is still and your subject is moving, or your subject is still or your camera is moving. I've done some where, everything is still. I just kick the tripod while the shutter's open. So I like it because there's all sorts of ways to do that. I've done it on a zoom lens. I really like zooming in and out on a slow shutter speed. I've done some where I've rotated the whole camera, around some sort of focal object. So to me, it offers a lot, and they're very artistic looking. A lot of it is hit and miss. I think I submitted one last year with the aspens, the fall colors of the aspens over in the Tetons, where it was just a vertical movement, a slow shutter speed, vertical movement of the camera, and you get this real kind of impressionistic look of the trees. And I think I've seen some other ones that people have done for our monthly themes as well too. So it leaves, I think, a lot to the imagination, and you can do anything with the camera, and there kind of are no rules, which I like about it too.
The
So it's
nighttime,
definitely not something you want to take with film, because you'd be wasting a ton of film.
You waste a ton of film. Yeah.
With digital photographs, it's really good. Gigi,
One of my
you got
favorite-
a little practice with it.
Well, one of my favorite doing something like this was to go to a rodeo and then follow the horses or and it's beautiful because you end up with a lot of colors and texture when the riders are moving.
Yeah.
Suggestion. Not that we're going to have rodeos this summer. I don't know. Let's see.
I
the
think it would be
nighttime pictures of headlights are fun to take.
Oh yeah, I get on a bridge in a city.
Yeah.
I think I want to refamiliarize myself with doing some rear curtain flash. I did it years ago, and this has actually got me excited. As soon as you said creative blur, I was like, oh, I want to practice that again. So I think this is going to be a fun one to play around with rear curtain flash.
Can you say what that is for us?
Yeah. So
people?
the rear curtain flash works best kind of in that low light or no light situation. So you need like an ambient light that will illuminate your background, and then you capture that motion blur. So the more ambient you have, the more intense that motion trail is going to be. You need a tripod, and this is where you learn how to use that rear curtain sync. It's been a while since I've done it, so I have to dive in and remember the steps to do it. But it freezes part of your frame and then allows for that trail of motion to happen.
Yeah, you'll have a setting on your camera somewhere that lets you set first curtain or rear curtain.
It's probably been about 7 or 8 years since I've done it, so I have to just dive in and remember how to do it all again. But thank you for saying it, because now I'm like excited to go mess with it and figure out what my subject's going to be.
Well, Pam, as your teacher, what I want you to do is, for some homework, is send me an article or two about the rear curtain flash, and I'll put that up on our articles.
Yep. The website I used to write for, one of the authors does it all the time, and he has some articles. I'll send it over to you.
Super. Okay. Anything else?
Randy, I have a couple of things.
Sure.
If you give me a second. So for everybody here, most of you don't know, but through some personal issues, we lost 2 board members this past month. So if there's anybody who's interested in helping us out and joining the board that brings you all these nice things like the peer mentor group and the monthly meetings, yeah, feel free to contact me or somebody else on the board and say you're interested. And then also, again, we mentioned earlier the contest that'll be coming up in May. So nature, but it's pretty open. So a lot of these things like creative blur and stuff you can use. And let's see. And I think that was it.
We have David launching a whole bunch of things on Facebook tomorrow for us to send in our running water pictures. I think we've got some good ones. Help David out on his Thursday assignment.
I'm sorry, there was one other thing. So we'll be doing the snapshot, but if anybody wants to submit, we will always try to use some of the peer mentor photographs for the snapshot this coming the first of the month. But if anybody ever has something you'd like to submit for the monthly newsletter, certainly send them to me or anybody else on the board. But yeah, we do that. And then again, Randy just mentioned it. Tomorrow is the Thursday photo topic. And I always cheat and use the peer mentor thing for on the third Wednesday. So
you don't cheat.
All of
you know that it's classy, so you always put it up.
Hey, David, can I say something about the board?
Sure.
Sure.
So I just want folks to understand what it is that we do on the board. The time commitment is actually not great at all, but the opportunity for creativity is really enormous. And essentially what the board's job is to be as innovative and forward thinking as we can so that all of our members get value out of their membership. And whether that's planning meetings or planning trips or simply putting together different ideas for field shoots or, you know, whatever you kind of think of, we meet a few times a year. We talk more often than that. But I don't want anyone to think that it's really hard work, because it's really fun work. And, you know, this club is about serving each other. And the harder that we work to serve each other, the better off our club is and the more value that our members get out of it. So if you have any inclination, because you have some ideas about what would make the club better, we would love to hear from you, and we would love to have you come talk to us about joining the board.
And if I can just add something to that, the more variety we have in all kinds of different ways, what the board does is tries to represent all the different kind of people that are part of the Teton Photography Club. So having diversity really helps, because maybe some of you know somebody else and those kinds of people, and they're telling you that they'd like to have this in the Teton Photography Club. We need to know what those people want. That will help us out.
Yeah. And I'll throw one little thing in here. I'm going to say this somewhat tongue in cheek, but if you're one of those people who've
Isn't everything you say a little tongue in cheek, David?
Yeah, well, okay. So if you've ever said, I wish they would do this, you're our person. You get to come and say something. So
sure. Okay, anything else? Well, very good. I thought we had a good meeting tonight, except for my screw up. But that's what happened. Lauren, you'll love this. That's what happens when you're using an Apple, right?
Don't feed him on this.
Well, for me, it's that I just changed to a new format, and it's driving me crazy in both of my machines. So we'll see you in a month. I'll have the emails out through the Teton Photography Club website, hopefully tomorrow. And always look for feedback from all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, David, your email's not popping up for me in my email. I guess I haven't emailed you yet.
Oh, okay.
Can you put in the chat what your email is? I have a couple articles that to send over.
Give me just a second here.
Yeah, my friend Levi, he's written a few articles on it, and I was texting him like, "Where's your articles? I can't find them." He's sending them to me right now.
Okay, well, I'll send you mine right quick here.
Oh, that's why I couldn't find it. Oh, Canon calls it second curtain. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like looking up the keywords and it wasn't coming up. All right.
And Pam, you're
Yeah,
going to send me an email with the information about rear curtain flash?
Oh, that's who I was. Yes, Randy, David. Sorry, I didn't
Okay.
hear who was asking me. Randy, yes. What's your email, Randy?
Okay, I sent you mine also, Pamela. So.
Okay.
RISAACSO
RISAACSO
at IUSB as in boy .edu.
Perfect. I'll get these articles sent over that
Yeah.
he's pinging me with.
And Pam, mine's in the chat there. If you want to send them to me, I'll
yes.
make sure there's no.
Okay. And oh, there it is. Perfect. I'll just send right now. All right. Awesome. That was good. It feels good to get to know you guys, and I can't wait to be back there in a couple weeks.
Oh, we always love to add new people. We try to have a real diverse population. That's really helpful. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's still cheaper for me to live here and work up there for now. So
too bad you didn't move over here to our side of the mountain a year ago. Now it's as bad as Jackson, I think.
Oh, and I love it. So, you know, growing up in Alaska, I feel right at home with everything, you know, the mountains, the snow, the skiing, the moose, the bears. So of course the photography. So anyways, thank you. And I'll get these articles sent over, and yeah.
Oh. Thanks. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Randy. Good job.
Thanks.
All right.